Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast. Back from the owners' meetings. Nice early flight. A little bit colder here this morning than it was in Orlando.
It's not all colder, about you, Hoge. We've been here the whole time.
Without the warm embrace of Patrick Finley.
Yeah, we had a nice dinner. We had a nice dinner last night, all right? Little
fireworks.
Little Magic Kingdom fireworks in the background. What's wrong with that? Speaking of Florida, look who's back with us.
Let's go.
Brian Baldinger, who's been, I feel like, What part of the world did you not see the last 2 months? I've been following you on Instagram. You're everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's vacation season. I can't be all about just breaking down cover two in this league. You gotta have some other experiences. So yeah, I'm in Bahamas, Costa Rica, Belize. I got a few more, planned here before season kicks off.
How many sharks did you kill?
I didn't kill any, but I did see a few. I saw my first hammerhead of the season a couple days ago down in the Bahamas. That was good. That kind of got my blood going.
See, I thought I was going to say first hammerhead ever, and it was just of the season.
New pod, Baldy and the hammerhead. Let's go. Come on.
Baldy and the hammerhead.
Come on.
We got a lot to catch up on, Baldy.
Yes.
And hope everybody watching, listening today is excited to have Baldy back. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Of course, we are only 200, a little bit less than 200 subscribers away from 53,000.
Nick Roach.
Nick Roach number? Wow, that was going deep on Nick Roach there. Okay. And maybe we can get there by the end of the show. We'll also thank our new diehards before we get out of here. We got some George McCaskey video from yesterday. Asked him a couple questions we'll get to later on in the show as well. But let's get right to Baldy. There's a ton new catch up on since the last time we talked to you. Obviously, the big Justin Fields trade. All signs pointing to them drafting Caleb now. Big Keenan Allen trade. We'll hit on all of it. But I guess let's start with Justin. We spent so much time during the season talking to you about him and what he was going through. Were you surprised by anything with how that all unfolded?
Yeah, I was surprised by all of it. I was surprised by the lack of interest. I was surprised by how little Pittsburgh had to give up to get him. I was surprised that there weren't a bidding war, honestly, for Justin Fields. And so I don't know, maybe all these other general managers, head coaches, maybe they all watch different film than I do. But I remember, and I'm not trying to compare Justin to Lamar Jackson, but this time last year, Lamar Jackson, anybody could have had him. Like Baltimore basically put him out there and said, okay, we've got him on this tag right here, but if you want him, he's yours. Atlanta, Washington, any of these teams, now we're good. And he goes and wins the MVP, and all these other teams have coaching changes and quarterbacks are gone and all this kind of stuff. So it's not the same, comparison, but like for the New York Giants to go and say, okay, we'll give Drew Lock $5 million versus Justin Fields on his fourth year of his rookie contract makes no sense to me at all. None. So, I mean, that's just one team, but I could name Las Vegas. I could name a lot of teams that I thought should have been in the sweepstakes for Justin Fields.
Baldy, I swear some of these teams just have off-season amnesia, and they forget that 3 months ago they were in quarterback hell. I mean, we were just living in a world where Tim Boyle was starting 3 games in a row for the Jets, and then all of a sudden we're in March and nobody needs Justin Fields. It makes no sense to me.
I thought the Jets. Okay, you want to go get Tyrod Taylor and give him all this money? Give me Justin Fields. The Los Angeles Rams. You want to go sign, Garoppolo and probably be injured before you start camp versus Justin Fields. Matt Stafford's missed 10 games over the last 2 years. They don't win many games when Stafford doesn't play. I mean, I could go around the league and go, Justin Fields is a better option than what they have. I'm with you. Like there's either amnesia or something happened at the Combine in Indy this year about how everything just fell apart. All these backup quarterbacks get signed. There's a carousel. These guys are moving every single hour in free agency. And I couldn't understand any of it. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers are just the smartest of the bunch.
Do you think it has more? I mean, you bring up Lamar Jackson, and obviously they're two different stratospheres of resume. But do you think it has more to do with they obviously are both very talented, but you have to curtail so much to them? Like, whereas quarterbacks come in, you fit them to the system that's already in place, the personnel that's already in place. But with Lamar and Justin, you have to kind of flip everything to them and curtail the system to them and the personnel to them. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, a little bit. Look, I mean, Jim Harbaugh won a lot of games in San Francisco with an offense that catered the offense to Colin Kaepernick. He's got the same offense coordinator. He's not going to run that offense with the Chargers. I mean, coaching is adapting and making it work. I remember when Lamar took over for Joe Flacco, and I was like, so I talked to John Harbaugh about it. So did you install a new offense? He goes, no, we have the same offense. We had things for Lamar to do that we will now employ, but we had this as all part of their offense. Now, he might have been shooting me BS. I don't know. But no, I think that's coaching is, okay, we got a guy that can run the ball as well as any quarterback in this league. Why wouldn't we put read options, quarterback keepers, sweeps? Why wouldn't we put that in part of our offense? It's not really that hard to actually do.
That reminds me of this. Baldy, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been this Mike Tomlin clip that's been kind of going viral throughout the offseason here a little bit. He was doing some interview, and he was like, I don't run from coaching. And he's like, he hears other coaches be like, oh, well, this guy's hand placement isn't good. Well, it's like, well, then that's coaching. Coach him up on that. Like, don't be scared of you got to coach guys up. You don't run from coaching. Well, here's Mike Tomlin. He's saying, all right, well, I'll take Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And you know what? Yeah. We'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, well, I mean, so to that point, I remember going to a Steeler mini camp last year. So they were indoors doing a walkthrough, whatever. I walk in, Mike sees me, comes over. We start kind of just shooting the breeze. And, I said, what's new this year, Mike? And so, Pickett was back for a full off season, all that kind of stuff. He goes, the only thing, honestly, is I got to adapt. Like, these kids are different than they were 20 years ago. I have to change the way that I teach. Like, I have to change. That's starting at the very top. I got to teach differently to make sure, because I can't just assume that all these guys had great training in college. They're all going to different schools. They're transferring. They're limited by how much they can. So I can't assume that they all know how to run block the way I want them to run block. So he was telling me the exact same thing you're telling, that you're just, speaking out loud about, but starting with him. Like, I got to teach differently, and I can't assume anything that they learned this in college. Let's find out what they know, what they don't know, and let's get them up to speed on what they have to do to be a Pittsburgh Steel.
So, Baldy, make a prediction right now. We'll replay the tape at the end of the season. How many games does Justin Fields end up playing for the Steelers this year?
Oh, man. There's so many variables that can. I'll just say, just forget the conversation of variables, injuries, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'll say Justin Fields at the least starts 4 games, but I think he's going to play a lot. I think they'll have a package for Justin Fields. Like, that would make sense. I remember when Andy Reid drafted Donovan McNabb and Doug Peterson was the starting quarterback the first 4 or 6 weeks of the thing. I mean, Donovan was playing in every game. They had a package for him. Like, I think it'd be crazy not to have a package for Justin Fields, whether it's third down, red zone, short yardage. Like, I can see something, not just as a runner. Obviously, he can throw it. But I can see them having a package and playing 2 guys in certain situations.
People forget the Bears actually did that with Justin.
For 2 seconds.
It was 2 seconds because Andy Dalton got hurt and he had to play. But that would have continued if Andy Dalton had been the starter for 4 or 5 weeks. Like, they put Justin out there in week 1 against the Rams, and he scored a touchdown right away. So I think actually it would be crazy for the Steelers not to do that.
I just think you can't be just always conventional. You're going to hear people say, oh, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any. Oh, I mean, if you got a guy that has like an elite skill set and he's a playmaker, like, why wouldn't you put him in a position where he can do those kind of things to help your team? I mean, if you look at the roster right now, they don't have a whole lot of receivers on the roster. Maybe they're going to add some, via the draft, whatever. There's George Pickens and there's a couple other guys. To me, they look a little shorthanded when it comes to playmakers right now.
Baldy, Nicholas Moriano and I went out to USC's Pro Day last week.
The great Nicholas Moriano.
To see Caleb Williams throw. And boy, this sure seems like, I guess the last example would be the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. And then the one before that would have been Andrew Luck and the Colts. It just seems like the whole world knows exactly what the Bears are doing, and this is just, and they're not really shying away from it. They were all talking about Caleb openly in the owners' meetings the last couple of days. You feel like the way this is headed is what the Bears should 100% be doing?
Yeah. I'd be shocked. And I think anybody that evaluates the quarterbacks in this draft would be shocked if it's anything but Caleb Williams. I think they're putting him on the spot by saying, and he doesn't know all the things that could possibly happen. But I guess we could all get hit by meteors, tonight or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think Caleb is set to go. And I think that's their guy. And they cleared the space with what they did with Justin for him to come in and be the guy. And be honest with you, I don't think, and you could add Joe Burrow to that list of guys that you just said, guys that we were pretty sure what was going to happen. But I think there's just some level of misunderstanding about Caleb. But that happens. It happened with Cam Newton. It happens with all these guys. They just want to try and find any flaw, anything they can rip apart to try to – it's all part of the process. I think Caleb's pretty confident that he's going to be the Bears' property here in 29 days.
So, Baldy, my genius on the show has been underlined so many times, but I feel the need to do it again right here, which, I told everybody that Tyson Bagent was going to be a capable backup, if not, and then he goes 2-2 and looks great. I told everyone that the Bears are going to go 7-10. The Bears went 7-10. I could keep on going, but I'll stop there. Andrew Luck threw for 4,374 yards as a rookie. That's tops in the history of the NFL rookie quarterbacks. 271.68 yards per game. Now, 17-game season. Do you think Caleb Williams with Keenan Allen, with DJ Moore, with Cole Kmet, with Everett, with DeAndre Swift, with whoever they're going to draft at 9, the great Caleb Williams with Shane Waldron, with an evolving Matt Eberflus, with a whole new look.
Are you done yet?
Can he do it? Can he break that record his rookie year?
Yeah, I think so. I think Caleb could do it. Yeah, I think the guy's going to be looking to put daggers in the sides of the Lions and the Packers as soon as he gets there. I believe in Caleb Williams. So I believe he could do it. Like I said, I think I told you the story that I went to a football camp with Caleb, and I was like the film guy at this camp. There was the top quarterbacks in the country were all there. And I sat in the film room with Caleb when he was 17 years old. This is like, 4 or 5 years ago. And you would have thought that he'd been in the NFL for 3 years, not because he was cocky or anything like that. But if you said, okay, how do you attack cover 3? What's the route combinations you like? He knew it. He knew every coverage that was being thrown, whether I was putting Mahomes up on the screen or Russell Wilson, whoever I was putting up there. He read the blitz. He read the coverage. He read how to attack what was coming at him. He was just sharp. He's been doing this a long time. And I think he's been well coached by Lincoln and by Cliff. And so I think he's ready for this next step. I don't think it's going to be a big jump for him.
Yeah, you played that.
We can clip that, Stephen. And
the show. Well, because you had that comment back in October, and I've probably played that clip as I've gone to bed probably 100 times in the last month. I'm very excited for the idea of Caleb Williams as a Bear. So I guess for me, we just talked about coaching and how important it is to adapt. You talk about Shane Waldron and the way he was able to, revitalize Geno Smith's career. Now he gets a young rookie quarterback who is one of the highest prospects to ever come out.
And real quick, Baldy, that was QB Collective you're talking about, right? That you were at? And Shane Waldron, part of QB Collective too.
Yeah, that's true. So how do you feel that Shane Waldron can lift? Because that's the biggest. We talk so much about personnel, Roma Dunze and I, all these different things, and the glamour of the skill, but the coaching and the development has been what has failed so many quarterbacks here in Chicago in my lifetime. So can these guys get it done is the question.
Yeah, well, when you look at Shane and you look at Caleb and you look at putting the marriage together, the one thing that I think you're going to see in Chicago immediately is when the play breaks down, or they take the number one read away, or the protection breaks down, I think there's going to be a real plan in place, beyond the X's and O's. I mean, that's what Caleb was known for at USC and at Oklahoma. Like, he's a playmaker the way, and everybody wants to put him in Mahomes category. I'm not doing that. But we know what Mahomes does when all that stuff I just described happens and how lethal he is. And it starts with the quarterback's eyes and then how the players adjust to him. Now, how quickly he can build a rapport with Keenan, DJ, Cole, all that, is going to be critical. But that's what practice is all about. That's what walkthroughs and all this stuff is. And so it's critical that, once the draft takes place, that how quickly they can start working together and start building that type of chemistry.
I want to ask you more about Keenan Allen here in a second. But first, we've got to let everyone know the best offers of the year during the March Radness sales event. They're happening right now. Make your way to Ray Chevrolet on Route 12 in Fox Lake to join in on the savings. One of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. You'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Perfect tailgate vehicles await at Ray Chevy during Truck Month. For a limited time, they're offering 0% financing for 72 months on new Silverados with over 100 available. Great tailgating vehicle right there. I used to have a Silverado myself, loved it for tailgating, and 0% financing. You want that. And if you're just looking for something under $20,000, they have 125 vehicles under that price point right now. Seriously, guys, can pricing get more affordable? Everyone loves the word free. Of course, that's what you'll get this month at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake, a free oil change. All you need to do is mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change. Start off the new year right. Schedule it by April 1st. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Find new roads.
Love our friends at Ray Chevy, and I love the opportunity that I'm about to tell you about with True Fan Travel. Listen, if you like to live your life to the fullest, if you love sports and you want to make the move, I know you do, Gregory.
I love all of those things you just said.
All right, well, this is your passport to the world of sports. Over 8,000 plus fans traveled on over 145 trips last year. Listen, you don't want to watch the game at home. You want to live it, Braggs.
Exactly.
That's why
in the stands.
That's why you're going to Detroit for what's happening?
The Purdue Boilermakers.
Don't
Come on
care
now.
about that.
Sweet 16.
Could care less. All right. But you do want to travel to the most sought-after games worldwide: football, baseball, hoops, soccer, and more. Custom travel packages with the great Nicholas Moriano. He loves it too. Include tickets, 4 to 5 star accommodations, the unique local experiences, the unforgettable sports getaway. That's what they're doing at True Fan Travel. Honestly, when something bad happens to me, and Hoge,
Like you'd lose your spot in the read?
yeah, no, not at all, not at all. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just going to stop talking about what I was thinking about because that's never going to happen. But you do have exclusive meet and greets, Hoge, with former players. You can shake hands. You can snap photos. You could even meet the great Greg Braggs. Maybe he's going to be on one of these trips. Listen. True Fan Travel is the way that you get around to not only the best events, but the absolute all-inclusive tailgate party and the 4 or 5 star hotel locations. There's just everything you need. Check out True Fan Travel.
And we got just a little tease here with True Fan Travel. We got some big stuff coming up in the near future that we're going to let you know about.
Kind of wondering about.
Yeah, I deleted that so you didn't actually say it.
True Fan Travel. We are true
Get
fans.
ready for the tease.
Aren't you guys in the Hall of Fame game this year in Canton?
We are.
Yeah, they just officially announced it
Tuesday,
August
right?
1st.
Well, it's going to start. Week 1 preseason. You guys are lucky.
Is that
4 preseason games now?
Is that better for a team or worse for a team, Baldy?
It changes their schedule. It changes how they approach preseason since they're at least a week earlier than any other team. And so there's a little bit of a pacing thing. It's good for the young kids, the rookies and everything, to get, an extra game to get in there, get some reps.
Extra throws preseason.
Yeah, but
And
Yeah,
this
go
brand new kickoff rule First time we're going to see it in a game will be in the Hall of Fame game with Devin Hester going into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I mean,
cool.
it's kind of cool. I mean, for a preseason game, I'll sign up for that.
Do you like that rule, Baldy?
I'm not crazy about it. I feel like they're creating this. It almost looks like Arena League, the way they're going to line up.
I agree.
You know, and they want to get the return back in the game, which I'm a fan of. They're saying that it's going to make the game safer because you're not going to get 40-yard collisions, I guess. I guess we'll adjust to it, and hopefully we get some returns, you know, which helps change the game. And, you know, special teams coaches get to do their thing, and guys that are great special team players, they can kind of earn their keeps more than they have. Because the play, the way it had been going the last few years, where you just kick it in the end zone, it just seemed like a silly play. So maybe it'll give it something, but I don't know. Like,
yeah, but like,
Wait, hold on. Let me say football. Can I please say football? I know this is all the card. We are already. This is the toothpaste out of the bottle, however you want to put it. But I'm gonna die. But look, all you got to do. I don't know what's happening with me. Enjoy me while you
You're
can.
plagued.
All right, just listen to me. All they had to do was move the kickoff back. That's all they had to do. What's the most exciting play in all of football? What's the most exciting play in all of football?
Kickoff.
Sure, but what's even more exciting than the kickoff? That happens once in a blue moon. The onside kick, when you don't know it's coming, in the middle of the second quarter, in the middle of the third quarter. It's
Right, can I just, before you go, we don't need to waste 2 more minutes of this while you do this, okay? There were two surprise onside kicks last year.
Yeah, and it was
two.
great.
Okay,
That's fine. It's still the most exciting play.
Do you know this? The last 15 surprise onside kicks that have happened, and this over the course of 5 years. So 15 plays in 5 years, only 2 of them were successful.
Who cares? It's exciting.
Because you're getting 1,000 extra returns
all
the
the
season.
Saints essentially won a Super Bowl on a surprise
They
onside
opened
kick.
up the second half with an onside kick, stole a possession.
Yep.
You can have your cake and eat it too. All you had to do was move the kickoff line back,
And then you don't address any of the safety concerns.
They don't care about that. They're playing Christmas Day games. They're playing on Saturday. They're playing on Sunday. They don't care about that.
Playing on Wednesday. Wednesday.
It's total bull. The safety of the player. They don't care about that. They care about making money.
Carm, isn't that what they used to do?
Game schedule real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, and then the thing I don't like too is like, all right, how are teams going to be able to, like, how are they going to adjust to it? Are we going to have a bunch of big kickoff returns? Exciting for the game, which is cool, but for me as the Devin Hester gatekeeper of Chicago, like, then those records don't count. They're different than the original kickoffs. I'm a traditionalist, so you're going to start messing with my Hester, records, then I'm going to have a real problem. That's where I draw the line, Baldy.
Well, let's see if somebody could take 20 back to the house the way Devin did. I don't know. I think even with the rules
if you're going to have 1,000 more kick returns, we're going to see more touchdowns. It's just
Right, but that's what I'm
going to
saying.
happen.
This Mickey Mouse thing they're doing, then it doesn't count. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, Hester.
Baldy's with me.
Hey, Baldy, would you change who you have back there as far as would you want a speed guy or would you want somebody more like, I don't know, a bruising running back that can break tackles with how it's going to be?
Brian Mitchell type. I mean, I think you got to be like the speed's the speed, and we've seen those. But Devin Hester was, he broke a lot of tackles doing what he did. Like he was a strong runner. So and he was used in a variety of ways. But I think the returners in this world, like who knows, maybe Tyreek Hill is going to return a kick here and there, like in Miami. Like you could see the playmakers going, give me a shot at this. I want the ball in my hands. Used to be the Tim Browns and some of these guys, Tyreek, they were returners, punt returners, Pro Bowl, kickoff returners, and then they became so valuable as a receiver, they took that responsibility away from them, didn't want to risk injury. But I can see some of these playmakers in tight spots going, let me take it back, coach. I'll find the crease and take it to the house.
Yeah, so real quick, we got to let you go here, I know, but so I had a GM tell me in Orlando the last couple of days that the personnel is going to change on the field instead of fast cover guys because this is more of a line of scrimmage play. They're going to be looking at guys who are bigger and have length because they're going to have to stack and shed in a phone booth more than run 40 yards downfield. So I'm just wondering. They tell Brian Baldinger in your heyday, hey, you got to go out there on kickoff. What are you going to tell Coach?
I'm going to go out there and do it, man. I'm going to do what the coach tells me to do. They need a good blocker out there to open up a hole at the, I'm going to go get in front of my man and screen him and do what I got to do. So like these special team coaches, it's all they do. They're going to come up with some unique ways to return these kicks. Like there's going to be trap blocks, and there's going to be, I don't know what the rules are and blindsided blocks and things like that, but they're going to come up with some creative, innovative ways to find a lane for sure.
Yep. It's going to be fun. Baldy, we know you got to run. Thank you so much. It's good talking to you again, and we'll hit on all the other off-season stuff the next time we have you on.
You bet, man. You bet, guys. Good to be back with you. Thanks now.
All right, Brian
Thanks, Baldy.
Follow him on Twitter at BaldyNFL.
I know he missed it.
I missed my Baldy. Oh, yes, I did.
I'm going to say something aggressive right now, specifically to you two.
Oh, can't wait for this one.
Go.
You're hating on the kickoff because you don't understand it. That's all. That's all.
Are you telling me?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I saw your tweets. I hate it. You had a tweet this morning that said,
It's not because I don't understand it. I totally understand it. And the point you made to Baldy about personnel was going to be the next thing I said.
Fine. Carm doesn't understand.
Carm doesn't understand anything, so that's not a surprise.
You will.
Do not put me in his box.
Move the ball back.
Yeah.
So back to where it used to be.
That's what I was going to say.
They moved it up. Then they moved the touchback up. They've tried all this.
I look at everything.
The problem is there's 6% of plays are kickoffs. And there's 25% of concussions coming from 6% of the plays. You may claim that they don't care about player safety because they're doing all this stuff with
down
the schedule,
the list,
which is fair. There are definitely hypocritical aspects of what they're doing, but they do try to lower concussions. They have to because they're losing. Do you know how much money the NFL is paying out right now to people because they hid concussions for so many years? They are doing this.
That's a separate issue.
Look, I'm just telling you. And save this clip, okay? Y'all are going to like the kickoff once you actually see it. You're all going to be fine with it. And the concussion rates are going to come down. You're going to see more touchdowns. You're going to see greater variance in field position. You're going to see some kicks come out to the plus 30. You're going to see others get pinned back deep in the -5 instead of every single drive starting at the 25. It's going to be more fun. It's going to be a more unpredictable play. You're going to see reverses. They're going to have 2 returners back. They're going to literally double the amount of returners that are out there on the field. You're going to see a bunch of cool stuff. There were 2 special teams coaches I talked to yesterday that were there. John Fossil, Darren Rizzi from the Saints, Fossil's from the Cowboys. Hightower's excited about this. I know this for a fact. This is going to be fun. You guys hate fun? Okay. Move the kickoff back.
Shh. Okay.
No. Oh, my God.
No. Stop. Let me respond, and then you can do whatever you do.
You two have been feuding for a week and a half.
That's
now.
fine.
Go ahead.
Good. And we have our own feud, so you should appreciate.
You're always in the middle of it. You notice that? You're the common denominator.
Great.
Because he speaks before he understands.
No.
Because he's an asshole.
See. However you want to play it, hit the like button. All right. So listen to me. I didn't say that I'm not going to enjoy it. So we have to have a little bit of nuance. I'm not saying that of all the solutions out there, this is middling it is. This is a good middle, but I'm going for the home run. And let me ask you this: I would like to just go back to my original point on the whole thing. Look, these guys have signed up to do dangerous things in their lives. They are playing NFL football. You know why they like to do it? Because it's dangerous. Because it's fun, and so. Trying to make the game safe in the zillions of ways that they are doing it is exhausting. And if you could have your cake and eat it too, would you not want to go back to how it was before, where you could actually land on somebody when you tackled him, where the quarterback wasn't as safe as he is now, where you actually had the kickoff?
This is different. They're making a play more exciting. This is like what.
I'm not saying
what was the reaction when they came out the 3-point line in basketball a long time ago?
That is not the same thing.
No, but it is because it's like, oh, what's this? They're getting away from, what is...
I'm not saying...
It's the same thing that the traditionalists were just like, I'm against this.
Oh, all right.
And so wait till you see it.
Hoge, I'm not saying that this is not a good middling, as I just said. It's fine. I'm going to enjoy the kickoff. I will. But if I could have had, if you wanted my perfect solution, move it back and let them play football.
They already had it back.
Well, they
moved it up.
They're just trying to do it for safety, man, and the hypocrisy of their safety is exhausting to me. Let's not let them hit them. Let's not let them hit upstairs and concussions. Okay, great. They're going to blow out their knees. Like if you ask guys what they would prefer, they'd rather have it the old way. Right? They would rather, because they don't want their career to be ruined, they'd rather not be able to think when they're 45 or 50 because they want to be able to stay on the field when they're 25. Like, it's just, they're doing a dangerous thing, man, and they're signing up for it. And let them do what let them be the gladiators that they are.
Well, and real quick, because I know we're going to take a break here, but the other aspect is, who are the players that are the most, like, that have the worst CTE as after their careers? Who is it typically that are those players?
I'm not sure we know that for sure.
Okay, but just if you had to guess.
Probably linemen.
Right. Guys that are in the trenches, right? And what did you say is going to be the biggest change that you learned down in Orlando? That it's going to be more trenches types guys.
It's not quite, because they're 5 yards apart.
But bigger types, right?
It's not O-line, D-line.
But bigger types, guys that don't have to cover as much ground. So they're going to pack a heavier punch. And so there's things that I think unintended consequences that we don't know until they start doing it.
The XFL's concussion rate, though, on kickoffs went down to virtually nothing.
Okay.
Based on the data that they put out there. So the thing with the linemen is more subconcussive blows over time. And I think that still is going to apply, because it applies to pretty much all plays in football at some point. But it's not.
They are making the game safer doing this. I completely agree.
They 100% are. And all they're doing is they're moving guys. They're just saving guys from running up.
What
30.
noise are you making?
I want to address this in a second. I have a very specific question for you.
Just enjoy me while you can. I think it's over.
Do you enjoy Prize Picks, though?
I do, so much.
Okay, because Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection, and you watch the winnings roll in. I saw Nick posting on Twitter about his big winnings on Prize Picks, watching some basketball games over the last few days. And that's the thing. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor, it's still heating up. Tournament season, fight for a playoff home court. There's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. You can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Right now, you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on Prize Picks. And go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Again, prizepicks.com/CHGO. You use code CHGO for first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
You know what one of the best sounds of the spring is, guys?
Tell us, Braggs.
Miller Lite.
You just referenced a great vendor.
You knew. I knew you'd know as a vendor.
That complete idiot, Russell.
Miller Lite. Russell, don't call him an idiot. He's a legend. Anybody that's ever been to a Sox or Cubs game knows of the Miller Lite call at Cubs games. But it's also NFL draft season. Get ready for our draft party coming up in 29 days. What are the Bears going to do? It's the question on everyone's mind. What are we going to do with our picks? It's anyone's guess, and we've seen some wild selections over the years. Better not be a wild one at one polls. But there's one selection that every football fan can share, and that's an ice-cold Miller Lite.
Russell's the man. You're the greatest. I love you, Russell.
The draft has definitely changed over the years, but Miller Lite is the perfect beer for the draft. And don't forget, Miller Lite is a proud sponsor of the Bears. Bear down. Miller Lite knows that beer lovers want their light beer to taste like beer. That's why they brew a light beer that's light on calories, not taste, because what's the point of having a beer if you can't taste it? Till kickoff comes around again, enjoy the beer that tastes like the season. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. What is wrong with you?
I don't know, man.
What was that sound?
It's all over.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is wrong
Here's my
with
question.
you?
My question is,
Yeah, let's hear it. Uh-oh.
I feel like I'm in high school, so I just got handed a note at my desk.
Hopefully it says Carm, you're fired.
It's a someone's phone number. No, that's actually for you. I told you to go to the doctor like 3 weeks ago. Did you go?
I did. No, I didn't go, but I communicated via email, which is what you told me to do, by the way.
I can tell you with 1,000% certainty I didn't tell you to email a doctor.
You did. You gave me this whole thing that you were like, I did this, and they sent me these pills, and it was amazing. You didn't say that conversation.
Okay, that sounds like a drug deal.
Well, that's what it was. A legal drug deal.
It was a teledoc appointment.
Yeah, you told me to
Which is
teledoc.
included in our company insurance, which I told you to
do, and that's what I did.
Okay.
I have been communicating with my fine doctor, and he told me to take some.
What does he have to say about your weird noises that you keep making in a microphone?
This is weird. It started this week.
Lies, because it happened last week.
No.
I haven't been here this week, and you did it last week.
Okay, let's not talk about my health anymore. But I don't know exactly what's happening. I feel like I've got like some chronic bronchitis going on, even though I don't smoke.
You're a plague. Get away from me.
And I mean, I mean, clearly it's not contagious because I've been around you guys.
My daughter, my 5-year-old daughter, and my wife are sick every other week. Get away from me.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare this year. I don't know what it is.
I'm really sorry. I'm dying, and you guys should enjoy your time with me right now. And
I'm worried about you. Go see a physical doctor. For the love of God.
I need drugs. I need some good Mucinex DM. That's what's happening. But I'll go see the doc.
Thank you.
No problem.
But the noise he's making.
I don't.
Dude,
It's
Like, is it because you don't want to, like, are you trying to suppress a cough? Because, like,
yes, I have two options.
You sound like a squeaky toy. You're like,
I am a squeaky toy. I'm your squeaky toy. Play with me.
okay,
There you go.
Slow down. You're saying a lot of words. Can you not? You almost knocked that drink on me.
I've got
lucky that was.
Just listen.
You are a nightmare.
I am. I completely agree.
all right. Well,
I'm going to be great. Could you just talk?
this
and I'll be
isn't
all
the
right.
best transition, but we'd like to see you tomorrow if you'd like to come out. Because
Come on out.
We got a last minute invitation that we were invited to, that we're going to go and hang out tomorrow.
It's more like I invited myself, and you guys are coming now. That's what happened. Thank you. Throat goat.
Okay.
He is the throat goat. Go ahead.
The show is just
Plug what we're doing tomorrow after the throat goat.
Can we stop saying that so I can plug what we're doing tomorrow?
I'm so proud of this show and how it's grown in so many ways.
Yeah.
Look I mean, seriously.
I spent significant time in Orlando looking for 2 new co-hosts, just so you guys
Why do
know.
I get lumped? I always get lumped in with him.
Because you have your
always.
Because
you associate yourself with
you have your own issues that makes you intolerable. I have mine. You have yours. They're completely separate. Hoge's making good moves,
and I'm
You
perfect.
should enjoy your time on the show out less.
Anyway, tomorrow, special show, and this does affect people just watching that don't come out, so please pay attention here. Our show's going to start at 11:30 tomorrow. Special time because we have a Sox broadcast going on for opening day. We are going to be at Ballpark Pub.
Yes.
514 West Pershing Road near the ballpark.
Can I tell you how much I love the Ballpark Pub, and I haven't even been there yet? Because
we're going to let Adam tell the rest of what he's saying.
Dude, check out the Ballpark Pub's website. It is old school. It makes me smile. Keep going. You can get a white cheddar cheese curd for $6. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Wait, did you say you can get one white cheddar cheese curd?
No.
Curds.
Plural.
Oh, okay. I missed the
Dude,
plural on that.
Ballpark nachos served with onion, tomato, a black olive, a jalapeno, and a sour cream. You can add a beef brisket, a pulled pork, or a chili for a mere $2.50 extra. These are the prices that I need in my life. I bet it's delicious, too. I can't wait. Their pizza looks amazing.
All right, tomorrow, 11:30 show. We're going to be there. We're going to be leading straight into CHGO White Sox. They're going to be doing their pregame from Ballpark Pub as well. And I don't know, as much as I've sworn off the White Sox, I might have to maybe go to the game too.
Yeah,
since I'm there.
We got takeovers.
But this is the thing. And this just 10 seconds, please. Mm-hmm. You have like how many tickets available for opening day? which should be sold out. It's opening freaking day. There's thousands and thousands of tickets available. And I go to look at the prices. They're ridiculous. No wonder there's so many tickets available. They're price gouging on opening day, and nobody's buying them. The cheapest ticket is $26 for a baseball game in the top corner of the upper deck. Are you kidding me?
I heard that they stopped. I heard they stopped doing the rule that if you have an upper deck seat that you can't get into the lower level, like to walk around. I heard that they're stopping.
Well, half the time last year the upper deck was just closed.
Right.
If you had an upper deck ticket, they didn't even let you go up there. Just go sit in the 100 level. Like, it's pathetic. Anyway, that's a different thing. Just lower. I mean, it's
either way.
So you want to sell your tickets, lower the prices.
Either way,
it's unbelievable.
CHGO Sports going to be all over the city, ballpark, pub to start the day, and then at night the Cubs are having to take over their own. So we're going to be all over the city. Is that at the Country Club? I believe I'm putting Steven on the spot. He's giving me. I
think it was.
Yeah, I don't want to misspeak, but we're all over the place. CHGO Sox, CHGO Cubs, CHGO Bears, all over the city doing live shows tomorrow.
And yeah, and it's also a watch party too. So if you're like me and you don't want to spend that ridiculous amount of money on a bad baseball team, you can just hang out and we'll have a good time. So that'll be fun at Ballpark
Let's go.
Pub. Come see us tomorrow. And again, the show's starting at 11:30. Even for those of you watching live, just be alert for the early start time tomorrow. All right, we have some stuff from George McCaskey that we wanted to get to as well. Yesterday.
What about the Twitter beef? We get into that too, or is that not today?
That's later.
That's less important than the owner speaking for the one time he talks every year.
I just want
I don't know.
That's
what the fans were talking about yesterday.
It needs to be at least promoted that that's coming up because this is going to be some good stuff.
George McCaskey, have any thoughts on it?
I still have really very little clue of what you guys are even talking about.
You're gonna find out.
I'm looking forward to being educated.
Whatever, the Bears blog. You can beat the Carman. That whatever that poll is, but
he beat your ass.
Somebody bought him votes, and I know who it is.
Well, that explains why he had that nice tweet about me the other day.
The Bears blog?
I voted for him over you because of that nice tweet.
Mm-hmm.
You voted for the Bears blog?
I actually did. I didn't even know you guys were playing each other. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All I know is that yesterday on the show,
did you lose?
Oh, I got killed.
You got destroyed.
Wasn't even in the remote ballpark.
Wow.
But of course, I know
somebody actually, covers the Bears respectably, and then there's this other guy that doesn't.
Carman. All right. Well, I was covering the Bears yesterday, and the owner, George McCaskey, spent about almost 30 minutes with us. It was a nice conversation. He doesn't talk a lot anymore to the media. I mean, I guess in general, this is his annual sit down where it's usually not about whichever new coach or GM they're hiring or have to fire. This is the one time, and hopefully, the Bears can kind of stay in this cycle, as Ryan Pohl said yesterday on the Pat McAfee show, that they were hired to get out of this cycle. Maybe that's where they're at now, hopefully. So it was a good conversation with George yesterday. There was one part I wanted to bring to you guys, though, because we're basically a year since Kevin Warren came on the job. And the changes, there weren't like sweeping changes right away, but sort of lost in the Justin Fields, Caleb Williams offseason here were some changes in the organization towards the top. Cliff Stein, who's been there for a long time, was let go. They've made new hires. They've promoted a couple people. And I think we're expecting some more changes here and there too. These are more like kind of behind the scenes, not football ops moves, but we're talking about behind the scenes, the organization kind of changing. But of course, George McCaskey's still in his same role. So I asked him yesterday just about trusting Kevin Warren to make some tough calls here, especially with people who've been in the building for, in many cases, literally decades.
Yeah, it's like anything else. I mean, our business is a tough business, and sometimes people move on. Sometimes it's their decision. Sometimes it's the club's decision. And it's always difficult. Families are impacted. Kids are impacted. These are people's livelihoods. These are people's lifestyles. A lot of times they've put down roots and established relationships, become part of the community, and it's always difficult. But our family feels very strongly that Kevin needs to be given the freedom to make the decisions that he needs to make sure that the Bears are successful. And I feel it's my job to support him in that.
George, how much of a challenge is that, adapting to that force of nature style for you individually?
Well, he makes it easy because he is so passionate about it, so excited about it. It's going very well so far.
Kevin mentioned, he used the word momentum. I guess it was more towards the potential of the stadium, but in the wider view of how things are tracking for the organization on the field and off the field. Can you ever remember a time that you feel as positive with direction and momentum as we sit here right here today?
It's hard to recall a time. I mean, to be a team with this much going for it and to have the number one pick and another pick in the first round. But when you're in that situation, you got to make hay. So that's where all the hard work that Ryan and his staff and that Matt and his staff have been doing all these months will pay off in April and beyond.
So obviously there's a lot of optimism, and I think it's genuine within that building right now that even though sort of once again they've done things a little bit backwards here, right? They hired the GM and the coach before the team president came in, and now they're doing the quarterback thing again. It's really hard for anybody to argue with the job that Ryan Poles has been doing specifically. But I thought that was interesting, and we don't spend a lot of time talking about the ownership level of stuff, except for when times are bad, right? So it's part of why I wanted to ask George some of these questions yesterday and get an understanding of. George is, to me, as human of an owner as might exist in the NFL. I mean, there could probably be nobody more opposite than like the Jerry Joneses and the Stan Kroenkes of the world than George McCaskey. And I appreciate that about him, that on a very human level, the McCaskeys are, pretty typical Chicago area family that they're fans of the Bears, right? But with that family level, I think part of why the Bears ended up in some trouble and needed to make these changes that they did was because, people got comfortable in there. And they needed a new team president to come in and kind of have a new vision. And I, on a human level, wonder what this has been like for George McCaskey, empowering Kevin Warren the way that they have to make these decisions that have been made. And they all seem like they're going well at this point. So specifically, like, it's tough to, probably even for George, to make a comparison to Ted Phillips, who he's obviously loyal to. By the way, Ted Phillips is still listed on the Bears website as like a senior consultant or something like that. Like he's like 4th or 5th on the list when you actually look at it. But this was another thing that came up in the context of why I followed up with what you just heard. But about 5 minutes before George made those comments, he said, Ted and I talked about this in the search, that we weren't looking for someone to duplicate Ted's style, but I was looking for the traits that Ted demonstrated: integrity, humility, leadership, decision-making ability, the ability to have difficult conversations with people and still be able to talk to them the next day. Kevin has all of those qualities. He has a completely different style than Ted, and I see it as my responsibility to adjust to Kevin's style to maximize the chances of success for the Bears. And then I think it was Dan Wieder followed up to my question on that. to explain Kevin's style. And George said, energetic, dynamic, passionate, enthusiastic. Not that Ted wasn't all those things, but Kevin just does it in a different way. He's a force of nature. So it's obviously different, but it should be different, right? And the answers I'm getting out of this is that there's probably a level of uncomfortability to that style.
Yeah.
But George is still empowering Kevin to make these decisions. He's not getting in the way.
Well, that's where George, I think, and the organization as a whole deserves some credit right now. Look, they spent, what was it, $200 million or $300 million, 193, whatever it was to buy the Arlington Heights property. A significant chunk of change. Yep. All right? And they have given Kevin, here's the keys to the car, do what you think is right. And so they're way down the road now, or further down the road, a lot further than they are to actually build it in Chicago. And then they'll figure this out down the way. So it's just very clear that they have empowered Kevin Warren 99%, 100%, close to fully. So that is a good way to run your organization. If you're hiring a CEO and a president, you got to let him do his job. Yeah. And George, as far as I can tell, is and the rest of the organization is stepping back and letting him do it. And that is a very good sign for Bears fans, because that is what a good organization would do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I have been very critical of George McCaskey for a long time, and like, I know he puts off this, hey, I'm the easygoing owner, but I've always seen a guy that has a little bit of an ego, and I thought that shined out when they decided to keep Nagy in Pace, and they talked about collaboration, and him and Ted Phillips, and it was like this Zoom call, and it was they completely torched that whole press conference after the season.
That was a low moment.
It was their lowest moment.
It's the worst I've covered in 14 years.
It was embarrassing as a Bears fan. And then someone sent a letter to George, and he reportedly sent a letter back to tell the fan told, I'm done being a Bears fan. And he told him, bolt up, because the guy said, I'm going to go root for the Chargers. And George reportedly sent a letter back that said, bolt up. He sent a picture and everything of it. But from that moment on, I think he has kind of learned the error of his ways, because I did start with Ryan Poles, and yes, it was backwards as far as GM to president, and now this quarterback, big decision coming up. But hiring Ryan Poles, I'll always say, was a big moment for him, because he brought in a very young GM who had the balls to tell him, we have to tear this down. And George has always wanted to put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. He's always trying to salvage what can't be salvaged. And I think he realized in that moment that, hey, this guy's going to have a vision. Maybe it doesn't line up with my mother's timeline, because I know he desperately wants this team to be good, in her final years. I think that is a big driving force for George McCaskey. And so they put that to the side and said, this guy's going to have the right process. Then you bring in Kevin Warren, a guy that's out of the Bears community, out of Hallis Hall type hire, not like George McCaskey at all. The Arlington Heights purchase, this whole stadium thing they're going through, isn't what we're used to with George. So I do think he's learning to play a little more hardball and thinking about the betterment of this franchise, and not always just trying to do right by who's in house. So I give George a lot of credit for starting to turn the corner here lately.
Yeah, and there's been, we don't really have time to go through everything, but there's been a lot of different things. And honestly, some of this stuff started while Ted was still part of the team, but I think Kevin Warren's taken it to another level. But diversity and inclusion being one of these things. I honestly wish we had pulled this. Maybe we'll have it for tomorrow's show. But Herb Howard asked George specifically about the team's efforts to connect better with Black Chicago. And that's how we worded the question. And, George had a very fair answer of this has been a big focus of ours to try to work on this stuff. And they have a senior vice president now at that level. And that was very important to them to make that connection. And obviously, They have an African-American team president now and a general manager. And I think that these are just other examples of the Bears making a lot of strides in the areas that don't necessarily always have to do with what we talk about on the show, which is the football.
100%.
Well, and let me just make one point here. For the people that are pushing back on the Bears being in the city, and I'm hearing like, well, Brandon Johnson's the mayor now, and he's not going to be there, and I feel like just an undertone of there's Kevin who's black and there's Brandon who's black. It's going to work now, but you'll see what happens down the line. We don't need any of that. That is not the energy that makes the world a better place at all, and I find it offensive and nauseous. Excuse me. So I just like that.
Apparently,
literally. So I just look. It's the fact that the Bears are trying to be the Bears for everybody that George is actually talking about. That I appreciate the question from Herb. It's a beautiful thing, and my contention on if the Bears do end up in Chicago, whoever the mayor of Chicago would want to have a good relationship with the Bears, who would drive a ton of business into the city. And everything else that could be potentially happening if the stadium comes to be Final Four, Super Bowls, whatever other events. So hopefully that would be a win-win-win for the city. Go ahead.
Yeah, Herb is in the comments too, and I didn't realize that. So shout out to Herb. He says the full interaction is on his Twitter, and I did just look. So go check out his Twitter account at Herb Howard 411.
There's just an
because he posted the whole interaction with George McCaskey, the audio and the transcript.
Well, and when we talked about yesterday of why it is important that they stay in the city, this is part of it. I mean, you move out to the suburbs in Arlington Heights.
Yeah.
Anybody that's gone to Bears games,
that's part of the White Sox conversation too,
right?
With them moving,
right. You're leaving a large demographic of the city behind, going out to Arlington Heights. And now you're making it harder on people that live in the city to get out there. Not saying they can't get out there, but it makes it much more difficult. And so you have to take all of that into consideration. If you're truly about Chicagoans, then you got to be thinking about Chicagoans when you're making this big of a decision that's going to last and impact for decades.
There's just an undertone at times when people talk about the Bears being in the city that is the worst of us, and it really I'm not trying to fight that fight because I understand how difficult that fight is, and people don't like to move, but I do want to name it and hope that doesn't have any impact on what the Bears end up doing, which it doesn't sound like it will. So thank you, Bears.
Do we transition now to?
Yes, let's go to the complete fun of the absurdity of Twitter and how you nearly lost to Mikey Cuz Bears or whatever his name is.
Bear down Cuz.
Mikey. Isn't there a Mikey in there?
That he is Mikey.
Oh, his name's Mikey.
His name's Mikey, but his handle on Twitter is Bear down Cuz.
Bear down Cuz.
I just
got
need
beef.
I don't have any beef.
You got beef.
By the way, we are speaking of beef that didn't exist that they put on Twitter. Apparently, this is because it's part of the conversation. Herb Howard and I were hanging out Monday night in Orlando, and we were talking about like how apparently the whole all Bears Twitter like tried to pit us against each other and how like oblivious we were to it.
Yeah, no, right. Herb was like, people are coming up to me thinking I hate Hoge. I'm like, no.
We were laughing about it. We're like,
I'm like, Herb comes in here all the time and clearly likes Hoge more than me. So, I think you're good. I think everyone's good.
Everybody likes somebody else more than you, Carm. So yeah.
Can you explain this whole thing to me?
So we have our guy, Muhammad, who for years now has done this Bears Twitter madness. And every year around March Madness, he does a bracket of Bears Twitter personalities. They're not all just media. They're people that are, just Bears Twitter, guys that have been around for a long time, whether personalities, podcast types, or whoever. Everybody is in this round of 64. And so this year has kind of created a bit of a stir. And each round has kind of came across some weird voting going on. And so now it gets to you and Bear Down Cuz this round. And he took exception because everyone started accusing him of of stuff in the ballot box, buying bots that will vote for him. Like, there's websites you can do this, and it's apparently doesn't cost too much to try this. And so the reason you could tell is, like, we're in the round of 32 now. Each person's head-to-head, is around 3,000 votes. And
I've got it highlighted right here.
And then for you and Mikey Cuz, a.k.a.
So I made it farther than Wisconsin did?
You did. Congratulations.
Okay. Nice.
So, just for instance, Courtney Cronin versus Irish Bears show. They're big supporters of what we do. Irish Bears guys are great. There's 4,000 votes. The voiceless. We'll get into the voiceless because he's going to have a voice here on our show.
Voice of the voiceless. Here he is.
The voice of the voiceless. You'll hear his voice here in a minute. But so, for instance, Courtney Cronin versus Irish Bears show, 4,000 votes. You and Mikey Cuz, it's 15,684 votes. And at one point, he was dominating you yesterday. So this is a layered discussion. I know not everybody's on Bears Twitter. And for those of you, congratulations, you're not missing out on too much. But at the same time, it is wildly entertaining if you can stomach it. And at one point, Mikey was dominating you yesterday. So now the theory is somebody bought bots to stuff the ballot box for you because now you're back up 58% to 42%. And so because yesterday, Mikey got disqualified by the guy that runs this because they could tell something was amiss. And so we have some audio of his reaction to being disqualified.
By the way, none of this makes sense to me.
None of it makes sense. Just enjoy it. Let's have some fun for a minute. Here's Mikey Cuz, a.k.a. Bear Down Cuz.
Got too many voters, and there's no way that I could beat a guy like Adam Hoge, right? There's no way I could beat a guy like that because he does this full time. Because he gets paid to do this, and he's on TV and all this shit. So I'm getting voted out and disqualified because there's no way that I could be beating this guy, right? Just like there's no way I could have had a source with the Justin Fields. Just like there's no way I could have done this. There's no way I could have done that. Guess what? I'm going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing. And guess what? This guy's going to...
You keep doing it, buddy. You keep going, Mikey Cuz. We got you, Mikey
Adam
Cuz.
Hoge.
Screw
this
you,
guy,
Hoge.
Adam Hoge. So he's upset. All right, he's upset.
I can tell. Wait, when was that?
That was yesterday, and those are
that was
Spaces.
yesterday after he.
For
got
those of you that don't know what Twitter Spaces is, he was running a Twitter Spaces. That's what that is, and a lot of times that's what it consists of.
Wait, but hold on. Did Hogg? I mean, I'm sorry, that's funny. Whoever just put that in there.
Adam Hoge.
Did he just boast in that Twitter Spaces about a source on Justin that he got completely wrong?
Yes. That was nobody believed me about the ballots. Nobody believed me about my Justin Fields source.
His source said what? What did his source say?
He had tweeted, and it caught a lot of attention a couple weeks ago. Breaking, I have it from a source as close to the situation as you could be at this point, that Justin Fields is, in fact, staying in Chicago, barring something very unforeseen or drastic. Still no official word on what the Bears will do with the number 1 pick. So that's what he's citing with his source. And 8 days later, Fields was, in fact, traded.
I've never seen anybody boast about a source that is
they got wrong.
That was like not even close to right. Is Justin Fields on the Bears?
He didn't, but he did.
Nobody thinks that I can have a source.
He did say barring something unforeseen.
Right. Yeah, it was totally unforeseen. Everybody knew this back in January, if not November. Okay.
So
come on, man.
It's a layered discussion, which is very silly.
I don't think it's layered
but
at all.
There's other Jacob Infante versus Taylor Dowell. They're both great Bears Twitter people.
Love Taylor Dowell.
Taylor's been getting a bunch of votes in her way. So now all of a sudden it seems like somebody is just rigging this whole election.
Are we aware that this is Twitter?
It's Twitter.
This is stupid. The Elon Musk app.
Yeah.
We cannot be getting this upset about this. I don't care. Why?
I know, and not only getting
happening?
upset about it, but like people taking the time to pay for bots to stuff the ballots is ruining it. whatever. I don't even care about it anymore.
It should just be
but
fun.
It is supposed to be fun. But even the Section 108 guys that do, White Sox coverage, they had their voting thing, and apparently they had people buying their votes in there too. So this is run amok here in Chicago sports Twitter, and this is why we can't have nice things. And I am kind of upset though that whoever paid for your votes, Hoge, because I was at one point the only person that was going to make it to the next round, and then I was going to gloat to you guys that I made it and then you didn't. But now whoever bought your bots, it was probably you, Hoge. Whoever did that.
If you had told me that I could have.
Wait. I think you just outed yourself.
Yeah.
You were the one who bought the bots.
No. I didn't buy no bots.
For Bear Down.
Don't bring me into this.
You just said you wanted me to lose.
I would have bought bots if you had told me I could have bought bots. I would have done anything possible.
You would have bought bots.
I would have spent zillions of dollars.
How much does a bot cost?
So apparently, according to my guy Austin, he clued me in on how this works, and he said Austin F., another guy, Bears Twitter guy, does a great job. Broke a bunch of stuff during free agency sources. And he got some right. Shout out to Austin. I think he said $10 to $15 for 1,000 votes or something like that. You can go to different websites like this socialwick.com.
So for $60, I would have won.
Looks like 5 cents per 10. 5
you
cents
paid for that for sure.
5 cents per 10 votes.
You would have.
That's what it costs. 5 cents per 10 votes.
5 cents.
They even have a customer service if you need to really walk you through this. So
is that round over? Is it?
Yeah, because I think I played John's. Your round is over.
There's a customer service for buying bots on Twitter.
Yes, and
Can we
so
call that? I would like to call that
I
number.
play Adam Johns.
I'd love to have that conversation.
I'm going to be going up against Adam Johns next round,
Well,
I think we
votes.
need to get the budget here at CHGO to make sure that we take down Adam Johns at the very least.
I'll buy your votes. Don't worry about the
Because
budget.
people were like, you got to tell Hoge about this. I was like, if I have to explain this to Hoge, I might get fired here today because he has no tolerance for such silliness. But
Can I actually have an honest rebuttal to that though?
Yeah.
Because this is what I hate about what Twitter has become. Because there was a long time where I really enjoyed my interactions with Bears fans on Twitter. I still do. I still really do. But it's hard because this should just be a fun thing. And this is and I'm totally cool with it. I've seen this with the 108 too.
It was so fun getting my ass kicked by the Bears blog. I had such a good time.
March Madness tournaments are fun. They're supposed to be. It's like a good radio bit. The tournament of bad back in the score days when that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. So, but this is what it's become where I'm getting texts last night from Big Cat about some Twitter controversy I'm in, and I don't know anything about it.
It's a big deal.
I finally got done with my work yesterday. I took a nice nap by the pool. I went out to dinner with the Finleys by Magic Mountain, saw a fireworks show, and I'm getting texts about a Twitter controversy I'm involved in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense to me.
Well, I mean, hey, look on the bright side. A couple weeks ago, we were at each other's throats over Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams.
So now instead it's Hoge versus Bear Down Cuz?
Somebody tweeted at me, it's written in the bylaws that Bears Twitter has to be fighting about something.
So this is what they've moved on
now.
to?
We've at least moved on to something a little lighter. It's the tournament. Yeah. No one really cares at the end of the day.
Wait, but what's the voiceless thing?
So, yeah, Bear Down Cuz.
Jake just walked over here with duct tape on his mouth.
Yeah, and he goes, the voiceless. So Mikey Bear Down Cuz, he's a personality. He's starting to make his way into Bears Twitter, but he's been more of an Instagram guy. He would do shows with Alex Brown and little Instagram lives with Alex Brown, but he's on this podcast called the Brilliantly Dumb Show podcast. A little shout out there for you, Mikey. And it's a very, very...
That's too bad that he took that name because that would have been a great name. If you guys hosted a show, just the two of you, that would have been fantastic.
Dumb. I don't know how brilliant we'd be, but certainly we'd be dumb. And it's a very popular podcast. They have a big following, and that was his whole contention. Hey, I have this isn't rigged voting.
But then how is he voiceless?
Yeah, exactly.
If he has a giant podcast.
And listen, people no offense, Mikey, cuz congrats on your success. That's fantastic. Good for you. You've certainly
got like 75,000 followers on Instagram,
and you've got good energy, and you're a talented dude. But like,
he's funny. If you ever see him do his movie reviews, he's very funny.
I'm sure he is. Congrats on your success. But what people like Mikey Cuz, and we'll speak to Mikey Cuz specifically, when they like to attack, well, he's on TV and he's this and he's that. Dude, if ESPN came calling for you, you'd jump out of your Mikey Cuz seat and you'd be on that TV. Who the hell are you? What are you talking about? You'd kill for that platform. You'd be there faster than anybody else. So shut up about people who actually are. Yes.
Me and Mikey, we like to rail against the evil media.
You're the same ass thing. The second that CHGO puts you on, you try to play both sides. If ESPN called for you, you'd bolt out of this seat.
No, I would not.
The frick you
wouldn't.
No,
I would not.
Yes, you would.
Danny Z calls me. I'm hanging up the phone. CHGO
That's not what he's talking
for life.
That's not what he's talking about.
I wasn't talking about Danny Z.
He's talking about Mike Greenberg.
Oh, Mike Greenberg calls. Mike Greenberg, oh, hey, click. No, thank you. We're doing things here.
Okay, you're a liar, which is even worse. But
that's fake.
Yeah. And
I was just about to go on a thing about how Greg's authentic. I'm taking it back. I'm taking that back because that was a lie.
And another thing to the Mikey Cousins of the world. Look, you think that I just popped into this seat or he just popped into the seat? Hoge interned for me in 2008, all right? It was an unpleasant experience for him. The dude grinded through a zillion things to get here. And for myself, I was underground following around Carol Marine in 1996 when she retired for the Steve Cochran show, one day a week interning. And this is 25 years later. You want to sign up to be on it doesn't fall out. So you got to earn it there, Mikey Cuz. And you, again, if you do earn it by doing your Mikey Cuz act, well, congratulations, you did a great thing, and then you'll be on TV too, and you'd run right for it. So when you come at us with that stuff, it's like, hey man, Lenny 911, shut up, Carm. You shut up, Lenny. It ain't easy to get to that spot. So I give respect to the people that got there.
But I want to, and then there's Braggs who just showed up here last year.
Well, but
because actually I want to talk about
you deserve respect because you went about it your way and you strategized and you got through, and that's a huge credit to you. Congratulations. You worked your ass off to get here. And Mikey, because you're doing it that way. But when coming at the people that got there is bullshit. Thank you. It is. It's annoying.
But no, so, and then the one thing, because I did get wind of this before apparently it became controversy because someone sent me a tweet about like the establishment or something like that, which I thought was funny because like we hired Greg. No, I'm serious. And we're of all the outlets to come after, like we're the least establishment, right?
I wore a bag on my head for 2.5 hours on our post game.
You watch this show?
Phenomenal show.
It's ridiculous,
right?
And no, but to be serious, I have a lot of respect for people that are trying to like break into this industry. I get messages all the time. I try to respond to as many as I can. But my advice would be just be authentic.
Be authentic,
because that's what Greg has been for years, and it took a while. It didn't happen overnight. Like the first time I met him, I knew he was on Twitter, but I didn't meet him until the Bears were in London in 2019. And then I
was drunk as hell that night.
He went on yes, he was. And then there was, I don't know if we ever talked about this publicly, but there was a time he went on ESPN 1000 and had my back about something because one of the producers of the Waddle and Sylvie show decided for some reason to come attack the credibility of Hogan Johns of all places. Mm-hmm. And he called in immediately and had my back on it. And I appreciated that. So like he's an authentic dude, as weird as he is, and and I appreciate that a lot. So, but this is a real thing that I've been noticing, and part of the reason why I stay out of this stuff, if people are wondering why, like, it's not because I don't care about it or I don't have any respect for it. There has been this thing, and especially started happening during the Justin Fields, Caleb Williams stuff, where like you could tell they were trying. What was that word you used a couple weeks ago when we were talking about this?
Which one?
Grifters.
Yeah.
So they were like. In fact, did we fall into a trap here? I have a real question because there were people trying to like come after me on Twitter to engage me in like a fight, to get me to come on their show so that we can hash it out.
It's a bait and switch. It's a Kansas City
and then
shuffle.
All it is like they're trying to get more people to watch their thing and build their own following, which is cool, but that's the opposite of authentic. Which is my point that I'm trying to make here. But is that what happened here? Because it kind of seems like that's what happened.
Everybody falls. All outlets are going to fall into that trap. So we did as well. I mean, it's not a trap. You're having fun. It's sports debate. But so yes, we did fall in a trap where, to me, there are people that were authentically invested in Justin Fields, and then there were other people that were only doing it to build their brand or gain clout. And so you have to. It's hard to differentiate between who's what in that category. So I have my opinions on who was doing it unauthentically and who wasn't. And maybe I'm wrong. But
by the way, it's not just Bears Twitter. In my opinion, this is exactly what RG3 did last week.
Right. I mean, that's a national media trick. They're all doing it. Yeah. So 100%. So it's just a way to drive up engagement and conversation and clicks to your podcast. Oh, I mean, when you went off a couple weeks ago on the guy that went off on you, he did a podcast a couple hours later and they talked about it and people tuned in because they wanted to hear his response after you called him out live on the show. I even watched it and I quote tweeted and said, hey, they actually had a good rebuttal. That's what sports debate is. It's where it crosses the echelon, the threshold of then where it becomes personal and shots that I think are crossing the line get crossed. And that happens in sports debate. We all have egos. We all can say things at times that are too personal. There are times I call Mark Carman up and completely start cussing him out for no reason because that's just how we get. This sports. We're all a bunch of cavemen. We're all talking about nonsense here at the end of the day. But yeah, we fall into the trap at times. So, it is what it is. I like to have fun with it. This is fun. I mean, honestly, this whole segment is just to have fun with this. The whole thing is completely stupid. I'm trying to take Adam Johns down next round.
I'm
so
very
if you want to help me with that. Adam Johns hates puppies. For one, so do not vote for him. Hates little babies. He puts ketchup. He hates ketchup. He puts ketchup on his hot dogs. So if you're listening to me, Adam Johns, I'm going to take you down to Chinatown next round. You are the worst Adam of the Hogan Johns podcast. And you are going to find the wrath of Braggs on Bears Twitter. Do not cross me.
I'm voting for John.
All right. I'll be staying out of it because
you are not going to stay out of it. You're going to have my back.
You're right.
Can we just... Wait, time out, though. No, I don't want to move on yet. I want more. Can we have more? You guys got to send me more of those Twitter Spaces videos.
Well, we have the other clip, I believe. If you want to have some more fun, we can keep having fun.
Because I think that's hilarious. Like, genuinely.
Yeah. We have the other clip, right? Didn't I send it to you?
And congrats to...
the Bears blog for killing me. Thanks. Way to go.
He kicked your ass.
Somebody bought him votes. I know who it is.
Bear Down Cuz is making it here because he now joins the likes of Nick Wright and Pat McAfee of people who have called me Adam Hoge on the air. I mean, this wasn't
Nick Wright called you Adam Hoge?
Yeah, he was quoting me on his show, and I think he called me Adam Hoge.
Hoge.
Yeah. So this is big territory.
All right, so this is Mikey just laying down the law of how he's going to finish this whole
we're going to see if this
Bears
works.
Twitter madness.
But the fact of the matter is this. This guy ran a tournament. He tagged me. I didn't ask to be in this tournament. But you know what? I'm playing to win. I called on my people because I knew I was facing a 1 seed and that people needed to know about it in order to vote. People voted, and now everyone is up in arms because I got more votes than this other guy. And people can't wrap their brain around it. They're so mad and they're so entrenched in the system.
Oh man, where was that going?
That's great.
I know.
Good for you.
Well, all I know,
whoever was recording that, why did you stop?
You're right. All I know is the voiceless sure was really loud the last 24 hours begging for votes. I didn't tweet a single time about it, and I'm pretty sure the voting total shows who won.
Yeah.
So there you go. Take that. Cuz.
Well, and like you said, there's the trap.
That's the
right?
love from Adam Hoge right there to you.
Adam Hoge. And like you said, there's the trap, right? We talk about him on the show. That gives him more.
I don't even care. It's fun.
Yeah, let's have fun with it, guys. Hey, Caleb Williams is going to be a Bear in 29 days. Come on out to our goddamn draft party. We can get drunk and argue about Bears Twitter madness all day long. 29 days. We'll be at Joe's on Weed Street, presented by Circus Sports, having fun, covering the first round, the number 1 and the number 9 pick. Corey Wooten will be there both nights, presented by Circus Sports and Casa Azul. The second night, on Friday night, we are going to be doing rounds 2 and 3 live, once again from Joe's on Weed Street, and Gary Fensick will be there. You'll have an opportunity to get a picture and an autograph from a legendary Chicago Bear and a Super Bowl champion. So we're going to be having a lot of fun. 2 nights at Joe's on Weed Street, presented by Circus Sports. DJ Trey Tunes for the after party Thursday night. Dalton, Carm, and the Sheriffs for the after party on Friday night, live on stage. Let's get drunk. Philip Palmasiano.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to
I'll let you do your diehard.
Thank
thing.
you.
I'm sorry.
Can we shout out the new? Actually, we'll do the Duke first because he just popped in. I will stop the diehards for $49.99 from the Duke. Yes.
No, I do have to just say the one thing I do care about in that whole thing is that Badger on Badger crime, because Big Cat coming out there saying he voted.
Shady business.
That's messed up. Big Cat and I are gonna have to have a conversation about that.
You heard of the voiceless. That's the worthless.
Big Cat.
I'm not going that far. Big Cat's my friend. We went to Wisconsin
No,
together.
I like Big Cat. I like Big Cat.
Big Cat is.
I was talking about. I was taking a little shot at Wisconsin.
Big Cat is is perhaps the best example of a dude who self-made and got himself on a huge platform. That guy is, he's a hero. Let's be honest. Hey, the Bear. Wow, rough day for me. The Duke 811. Thank you. I'm thinking about all the sides of the Duke, his Bear side too. Show idea for the slow season during summer. Quote, I am the Carm. The scene is Braggs, Hoge, and Nick have to sit there and duct tape to their chairs with their mouths taped, shut, and their eyes taped open for 2 hours. They just have to listen to Carm stories. You guys in? Duke spent $50 for that idea, and I think it's a great idea.
Why are we being punished?
Because it's not a punishment; it's a reward, and you will learn, you will get to know me, you will figure things out about yourself. There will be
sounds like torture.
Does it sound like torture?
But it won't be. It will be part torture for you, but it also might create something inside of you that you knew that was there that you didn't know, and all of a sudden your life will be better. Are you in?
You know what? Anything for the content.
All right, 2 hours. We'll do it on June 5th.
Bears minicamp that day.
Dr. Truth was asking in the chat, like, can we, after the draft party, stay at Carm's house? And I am here to tell you, if you buy a ticket right now and become a diehard, you can stay at Carm's house that night. It will be a magical evening.
I will go pull out couch for you and another individual, and you can stay in the front room.
Yep.
Which I like to call it the front suite.
The front suite.
The front suite.
Yes.
Absolutely. Why not? If I end up dead because of
every person that becomes a diehard right now, message me and I will give you Mark Carman's cell phone number.
Sounds like Are you calling your living room a bedroom? It's like an old Mitch Hedberg.
It would be that way. Hey, before I completely lose my voice, new diehards, Logan, you don't take an L when you become a new diehard, and neither did Logan. Logan is
the Wolverine. You don't know that reference because you're an idiot.
Do you know that reference?
Yeah, Wolverine is Logan, right?
Okay,
yeah.
He's a Wolverine. Logan. Great. Yeah. Go blue, Logan. Although you're probably not a Michigan fan.
Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah, X-Men.
I know we're talking about X-Men and all the.
Call us dorks.
I was going to call you a 3-year-old, which is what you are.
Watch out, Nicholas Morales is going to get pissed off.
I'm going to drink my chocolate milk and have a grilled cheese. And can I?
I did have a hot chocolate at Wrigley Field this morning.
I know you did. What'd you have for dinner last night?
Chicken.
Thank you. Alejandro also on board. Was it chicken fingers? Was it
just chicken?
Dinosaur shape?
No.
It was dinosaur shaped. Don't
It
lie
was
to us.
not dinosaur shaped. It was.
You still eat SpaghettiOs. I know you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Let me tell you a little something.
Yes, fruit roll-ups.
There's a gap in life where dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets are very real, okay? One is when you're a child. The other is when you're a parent of children.
Yeah.
And you eat them pretty much once a week.
I understand.
And you accept it, and it's perfectly okay.
Yeah. No, I respect kid food all day long, but not every single meal is what I'm getting at, which is what we got over here. Alejandro, the A-man, the A-team, B.A. Baracus, my guy. Alejandro has joined us, and Alejandro, we appreciate you. One of our two new diehards, Logan and Alejandro. L.A., Los Angeles, title city, title diehards, winners. Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. And to become a diehard.
And he super chatted too. $4.99 super chat from Alejandro. Just signed up for diehard. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the ballpark.
Yes.
Pub.
Let's go. Yes.
Let's go. This dude's going all out. Would it be easier if NFL just changed the kickoff to a drop kick?
See, this is where everyone's all, well, you could have surprise onside kicks twice a year. You know what happens a lot more than that just got outlawed? The squib kick. No one's showing respect for the squib kick. You can't squib anymore under this new rule. It's got to land in the landing zone. There's no more squib kicks. No one's talking about this the entire week. No one talked about it.
I mean, you wouldn't want a squib kick under the current rules, would you? Because you'd have a chance at fueling the ball further down the field.
Kick.
Well, you can't squib it with the new alignment and the ball having to land in the landing zone. It's literally impossible.
That is emotional. I can see for you, Hoge, that the squib kick, which was
tough day for the squib kick.
Tough day for the squib kick. It's a phenomenal option every once in a while.
See you at the ballpark tomorrow. Ballpark pub. Excited.
Yeah.
Did I cut him off?
Yeah, completely.
I'm sick of listening to him.
I would love
1:30.
I hope both of your brains are studied, like in depth by scientists. Hopefully not soon. Hopefully many, many years. A little worried about Carman right now.
I've got serious undiagnosed ADD, ADHD, 80-something.
Yeah, we're more worried about your sickness you're going through.
I emailed the doc. I'm looking for. I'm gonna go Friday morning.
You scheduled this during the show?
Yes, yes, I did because you. You see what's happening over here? I had to get it done. Ow.
We need to end this show before Carm dies.
Yeah.
I'm also having a little crisis. I didn't know I was missing this in these. If I had known Twitter Spaces were that entertaining, I would have been in there a lot more.
Oh, they're great.
That's fantastic.
But it's just dangerous.
Does that happen every day?
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. They are. They're very entertaining. But if they're recorded spaces, very dangerous. Because, you just don't know what somebody's going to say in there.
Well, that should be our new segment.
But if they're not recorded.
Can we start playing those every day? I didn't know they were that
funny. They're not. I've been on Bragg's a million times. They're horrible.
Oh, you're just not in there. They're not horrible.
They're horrible.
You're just a loser.
We also forgot to tell people where they could vote for Hoge and Braggs here. I've got the Twitter handle up on the screen. MZNOOR786.
MZNOOR786. That's the
guy the creator of Mohammed.
That's where the polls are going.
Right, Mohammed. Right. He's the guy that's been doing these Bears Twitter madness practice for 4 years now. He does a great job with them.
Just don't. Yeah, I'm not a 7 seed.
Yes, you are. I mean, honestly, you were on the bubble. You were lucky to make it.
Well, I saw that Herb Howard wasn't even in there.
That's what I'm saying.
What?
You could have put him in over Herb. Herb over him. I mean, he was. I mean, because okay, so you have teams that make it as a 15 or 16
Nobody
seed.
Cares.
They barely make it. But then there's the 8 or 9 seeds that are bubble teams. You were a bubble. Don't give me the look. You're a bubble team. You're a bubble team. I'm a 5 seed. I should be higher than a 5 seed. I am your Bears Twitter king, and you should respect me.
Your problem is, Carm, you weren't playing to win.
You weren't playing.
Bear Down Cuz was playing to win.
Playing to win.
You weren't playing to win.
Playing to win.
Do you know how lucky you are to be seated next to my royalty?
If they were doing a jackass bracket, you'd be a 1 seed. This is a Bears Twitter madness bracket. You're not involved enough.
What would you be the 1 seed of? Go ahead. Just.
I just told you. Bears Twitter. Come on.
Isn't that what
you
this
were
is?
a 5
Can I
seed.
have something in
you
this
were
world?
You were a 5 seed.
It should be more. I give him shit every year for my low seedings. Every year.
I completely agree. See, I will back you. I think you should have been a 2 seed. All you do is live your life on that thing.
Thank you. Give me something.
I have given you something. You're the king of forever being a kid and eating like an idiot and having and run on
I've been
sentences.
eating healthy for a year. Get on to the next super chat. God damn it. Never gonna end this show. Pizzatola. I always love when he does super chats.
$5. Hoge, if after 6 weeks the data shows that teams are averaging starting at the 40, aren't teams just incentivized to kick it out of bounds?
That's true.
Yeah, but that's not what it's going to be. They're anticipating that it's going to go from 25.2 as the starting field position, the yard line, 25.2, that's what it was last year, to about somewhere just shy of the 30, about 28, 29 yard line. The biggest difference is there's going to be greater variance. As I mentioned earlier in the show, you're going to have some short returns, you're going to have long returns, and it's just going to be better unpredictability than you're just going to start every single drive at the 25.
Not a super chat here, but David Peters says, no better way to celebrate my 20th birthday than by watching CHGO Bears. Happy birthday.
And the best way is for Carm to sing to you for your birthday.
I'll sing happy birthday
I'll allow it.
to you.
No.
You're not going to sing happy birthday to David? You sing
No,
it.
we're going to say happy birthday, and then we're going to move on to the next super chat because we have to end the show.
Happy birthday, David. Dad has spoken. We won't be singing to you.
Really, we're just trying to save everyone from hearing Carm sing. You'd actually be ruining his birthday by singing happy birthday.
Disagree. He'd love it, but that's fine. You want to ruin the fun. Happy birthday. Big D, you're the man. Thank you.
Why'd you have to call him that?
Because he's proud of it.
Cuddy Kitty 999, Bears fan from HF.
Homewood Flossmoor.
Flossmoor?
That's the only thing I can think of. We got Homewood Flossmoor in the house over here.
What's up?
Homewood Flossmoor represent.
Now in Arizona. Watch every show. Love you guys and your coverage. Best in the city. Bear down.
Thank you, Cuddy Kitty. Hated you as a quarterback, but appreciate it.
Crystal 499. Hey guys, just sending love. Oh, and calm down on Carm. You all have been beating him up lately. Love you guys. Hashtag CHGO. Bear down. Keep up the great.
Crystal's always got my back, and it's so appreciated, Crystal. And don't worry, Carm, stop saying you're dying. I need you here. Crystal, I'm good, even though I might be dying. We'll find out. So fingers crossed I'm not. Thank you very much, but I have a tad bit of a hypochondriac in me. What's going on? I don't understand this cough. I need it out of me.
Oracle of Hells, $5. Wizard of Oz crew. Hoge equals the Tin Man. Braggs equals the Lion. Carm is the Scarecrow.
What was the Tin Man? He didn't have a brain?
A heart?
A heart?
Is that it?
Which one was the
I
lion?
thought the Scarecrow had no heart.
The lion didn't have courage. And this...
The fuck is
The
this?
Scarecrow has no brain. Thank you. That's fair. Tin Man.
I don't know.
Yeah, the lion doesn't have courage?
The Tin Man has no... You've got no heart.
I'm the Tin Man.
Oh, you're the Tin Man?
Yeah.
And what's Braggs?
He has no courage.
How do I have no courage? Just give me the no brain.
He wants the no brain. DJ Cal.
It would be more... that actually would be more apropos for us.
Yeah.
You no brain, me no courage.
Yes.
Because I have all the brilliant thoughts. Thank you.
Carm has no lungs.
That's true.
DJ Cal 999. Carm is correct. There is undertones of city versus suburb dynamics that are weird, and we don't need that negativity.
Right.
There you go.
Right. Thank you, DJ. Appreciate you.
Big Cram coming in with $20. We love Big Cram. We love that photo. The fact that Hoge constantly makes the Final Four every year and he doesn't even know about it is killing me. I'm not gonna say I don't know about. Didn't I lose to Chris Emma one year?
Yeah.
In the final.
And then last year,
Yeah.
DeWindy City Productions won it all. I think.
You lost to Emma and Braggs beat him by.
I destroyed Emma.
You destroyed.
And I like Chris Emma,
By the
so I'm
transit
not
property,
gonna.
you destroyed me.
Yeah.
I like Emma too.
Yeah. Emma got the beat down, and I didn't even rub it in. But
Now you are. You
But
just
this
did.
next round with Adam Johns, I'm playing for keeps.
All right, Nuku.
Can you go on some rant where you just called Johns by his like a wrong name, like mispronounced?
Jans.
Hey, this Jans guy. He's the establishment. I got no chance to beat him because he gets paid.
You establishment
You think
guys. Nyim, nyim,
Adam
nyim,
thinks
nyim,
he's
nyim.
better because he's
I don't
on
know why they won't
TV.
credential me. Nyim, 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 nyim. I'm living my dream at the Cubs now. Look at me. Nyim, 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 nyim,
You
nyim.
mad that you didn't get to go to Wrigley this morning? Take some rips in the cage?
Do you have a season credential? No, you don't. Thank you.
Oh, wow, look at that flex.
Sit down.
Credential
Look at that
flex.
flex.
Sit down.
Credential flex.
Slob.
Nuke. $4.99 for Matt Nuku. Hogue knows Big Cat. Huge news for me. LOL. Great show as always, guys. Looking forward to a new stadium on the lakefront. Bear down.
Nuku.
Nuku. My guy.
Another one from Crystal. $1.99. F them. Hashtag CHGO forever.
Let's go.
Thanks you,
talking
Crystal.
D-Tech Nation, $5. Call the show The Yarn with Carm.
Let's go. I'm in.
The Yarn with Carm.
We need another podcast around here.
And Football CF Candy, £1.99 sterling.
Way too
Latu
serious,
is
Dan.
by far best edge in the class. Traded back. You know what I love? So that is a great super chat because
It's the only football thought of the day.
yeah, it's been.
I know.
We're so off
Weirdest
topic.
way to end the show.
And it's just like,
What do you think? This is a football show?
yeah, what, you think we know Latu here? Know anything about the UCLA edge rusher who's fantastic on film but has a neck thing that is going to have to be vetted? He might be the best edge
Carm
in the
has
class.
a neck thing. Throat goat.
Okay, easy. I can joke about that. You could out. Hey, come out to the ballpark pub tomorrow. 514 West Pershing. Theballparkpub.com if you want to check it out beforehand. And
Who says Pershing? It's Pershing.
Pershing.
Be a Chicagoan.
I actually said Pershing too, Carm.
You do?
how do you say it?
Pershing.
Pershing.
It's Pershing.
Okay.
Am I wrong on that?
I mean, H usually makes a sh sound, no?
Anybody?
Well, yeah.
Pershing.
But not in Chicago.
Pershing?
Not if you're a Chicagoan.
Pershing.
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 Yeah,
Pershing.
Pershing. We're going to
Whatever.
the Jewels on Pershing.
We're going to the Jewels on Pershing. Great.
What do we think this is?
Just get there.
From
514. The ballpark pub.
We're gonna have fun tomorrow. Come and hang out. It's opening day in Chicago. It'll be fun to be a White Sox fan for 3 hours.
If they go up 1-0, you're going to think that they're going to have a good season. It'll be great.
Then I think they'll win 61 games instead of 60.
Okay, why don't you dial into Optimistic Hogue just a little bit once in a while? Just it'd be good for you. Optimistic Hogue.
I do a show every day where I talk about how Caleb Williams is going to be awesome.
That's
We're
realistic.
not
Hogue.
talking about the White Sox.
Realistic
We
Hogue.
got one more super chat from D-Tech Nation saying, after Bragg's comments, CHGO2, the wrath of John's electric boogaloo. Also, do you think Bayless will break a few with the new rules? Yeah, he will because they're all cheating now. And Herb Howard here finishes it up. Great show, fellas. I forgot how much fun this was to watch. I've been boycotting during my beef with Hogue. Well, I'll tell you what, Herb. If you give a public apology to Adam Hoge, because everybody's saying in here that we haven't been letting you back on because of your beef with Hoge.
Oh, we'll let him back
If
on the
there's
show.
an issued,
That is the
I'll
other.
let
if
him
there's
back.
an issued public apology to you,
Then we'll let him back on.
yeah.
That is
We
the other.
don't-
That
we
is the
don't-
other conspiracy theory. Right?
We don't let him on. He just walks in and sits down. That's what happens. He'll just show up when he wants
Well,
to
when
come.
you die tonight, we'll have an open seat.
I promise to make it to at least tomorrow's show. That's my plan.
All right. Well, we'll see you on Pershing.
Pershing.
White Sox.
Pub.
Shout out to Baldy for being on the show today. Shout out to Herb Howard for hanging out in
Mikey
chat.
Bear Down Cuz.
Shout out to the voiceless.
The voiceless.
Anything else? We good?
I think we're good.
Screw you, Adam Johns. You're going down.
I'll be at the Bulls game tonight. If anybody says hi to me, I'll buy you a beer. Bears.
Johnson's podcast sucks.
Super fun show, except for Carmen Pizzatola. Love you, Pizzitoli.
See you guys tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.